So our next task is to create variables for the ball, and let's go ahead and open up our game. And up here where we make the variables for our paddle, we can go ahead and make the variables for our ball. And the ball is pretty simple. We could say ball is equal to a surface, and so it needs to have a surface. I guess we should make it down here again after we make our screen, or else we'll have that same error that we had earlier. And so we'll come on down here and we'll say ball is equal to pygame dot surface, and we need to give it a tuple with the height and the width. So I could say ball underscore width comma ball underscore height. And then I'm going to say dot convert. And I want my ball to be white, so I'm going to say ball dot fill white. I'll save that, and here we need to have these two variables, the ball height and the ball width. So I'll come back up here and I'll say ball width is equal to ball underscore height. It's equal to 20 pixels. And of course that could be changed to whatever it is that you want. So now that we have our ball, we're good. And you know what, I'm actually going to move these down to the left paddle. So I'm going to keep all the left paddle variables in the same place, and I'm going to keep all the right paddle variables all in the same place also. So then that means I'm going to go ahead and move this down to the ball. Okay, so there, that looks a little bit better, and these are used for both of the paddles, so I'll just go ahead and keep them up at the top. But yeah, I have all my paddle variables here, I have my right paddle variables here, and I have all my ball variables here. And there's one more thing. We used, in order to move our paddles around, we used this py variable, right? And how did we use it? Down here at the bottom, we went ahead and used the py variable, or the paddle left y variable, as the y position of where we're going to put this sprite, or where we're going to put this surface onto the screen. Okay, and so that's one way you could do it. There's another way that's more commonly used, and this is the way that we should be using them, in the foreseeable future for every surface that we are dealing with, and that's using a rect. So we say ball.rect is equal to pygame.rect parentheses, and the rect, the first argument is the x position of the surface. So we're going to say the width of the screen divided by 2. That sounds about right. And then for the x, we're going to say height divided by 2, and I'm going to do minus half of the ball height. So we'll say ball height divided by 2. So we'll get it dead center. And I guess we could do that same thing here. So we'll say minus ball width divided by 2 as well, right? Just so that the ball can be dead center on the screen. And okay, so that's the first and the second argument. And then the next two arguments are the height and width of the ball. So we're going to use the ball variable that we made. We said ball width, and then we said ball height is what we're going to use. So here we're making a rect. The first argument is the x location. The second argument is the y location. The next one here is the width of the surface, and here is the height of the rect. The width and height of the rect. And you might be asking yourself, what is a rect? Well, I'll get into that in the next video, but for now, just go ahead and type this stuff in. And we're going to go ahead and use this rect. So we make the rect here by using a call to pygameRect, and we save it in ball underscore rect. Okay. So now we want to go ahead and blit it. Okay, so we made our surface. We want to blit it so that we could see it onto the screen. And where do we do that? We do that down here. And so I'm going to come down here after paddle. I'm going to say screen.blit. I'm going to put my ball surface, which is right there, because blit takes in a surface, and it also takes in where to place that surface. And so if you remember what I said earlier, the rect's first argument is the x, and the second argument is the y position. So what I can do here is I could just put ball underscore rect, and it will know where to put this surface on this screen, which is dead center. We set it to dead center. So I'll save that, I'll run it, and it says there's no attribute fill. Okay, so let me say ball dot fill white. Why is that? Oh, okay, I didn't put the parentheses here on the convert, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll run it, and I got my ball here. Okay, and so just to prove to you that this rect is determining where the ball is being placed, let's go ahead and put this guy at 0 on the X and 0 on the Y. I'll save that, I'll run it, and we get the ball in the top left corner. Okay, I'll go ahead and put this back, and just to prove to you what this is doing, subtracting half the height and half the width from the X and the Y, let's increase the size of the ball to 500 pixels, and you could see the ball is still dead center. Okay, now if we did not do that and we didn't subtract the height and the width from the X and the Y position, or half the height and half the width, this is what we would get. We would get the top left corner of the ball in the center of the screen. And even when the ball is small, you can't really tell. You can't really tell that it's off center. But when the ball is big, it's very easy to see that it is not centered. Okay, so that's why we did that. So I want to press Command Z to get that ball's rect X position and Y position dead center. And yeah, that's how we go ahead and put a ball onto the screen. Oops, let me go ahead and change that back to 20. And there we go.